baby, do that shit again.
Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. Javell Ashanti here. Today we have a super fun video. I'm gonna be telling you guys my favorite books by POC authors. I've been making a lot more effort into reading books by POC authors with POC characters because I feel like those stories are so much more interesting, and it's fun to read stories about people who have similar stories to yours or people who look like you. And so I've been making a lot more effort into buying books of POC people. So I want to give some recommendations for some of my favorite POC books. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm going to start with one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, who's Miss Kennedy Ryan. This was my first book by her, and ever since this book I've been obsessed with this woman. Miss Kennedy Ryan always gives. Her writing style is just so fun. It really captivates you. It really gets you engaged, and I've never DNF'd one of her books because they're just so good. Also, she is a Black author. All her characters are always Black, and actually most of them are Black, which I really like. So this one is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This one is super popular. Everyone and their mother has already read this book, so if you've already read this, just pretend like you haven't, okay? This one's pretty good. It's about a mom who has been going through a lot. She's just been going through a lot. She's grieving. She has family members who died. She also has a child who's died, and she's also going through a divorce with her husband, who is kind of her soulmate. And so we kind of follow her journey in this book. One night, her and her husband are away on a trip, a business trip, because they have a business together. Something happens and they kiss. And now they gotta figure out if they're just gonna disregard this little kiss as like a one-off, or like, are they gonna get back together? We don't really know, but they really do have a deep soulmate connection. And so that's what we get in this book, which I really like, because a lot of Black stories are kind of like centered either around slavery, trauma, drugs, gang violence, which I really don't like. But this book is just so much different, which we kind of just focus simply on their romance in here. And yes, she's dealing with a lot of hard things in her life. That's just a part of life. But overall, I really like how heavily focused we were on the romance aspect in this book while she's overcoming certain difficulties in life, which I really liked. So this was a 5-star for me. I loved Before I Let Go, and I definitely recommend if you have not read this book yet. Staying on the topic of Miss Kennedy Ryan, she also has another series. This is the Kingsmen series. First book is The Kingmaker, and then the second book is The Rebel King. They are both so freaking good. I was so hooked on the first book that I literally ran to the store and got the second book. But this one's about a Native American girl, and she is protesting. She's really big into protesting. Like, she's like an activist, really. And so she's protesting a oil pipeline that's being ran on native land when she gets arrested. And she gets arrested with this white guy, and they're really attracted to each other, but also he's a little bit older, so it won't work because she's literally a minor. Fast forward years later, they run into each other in Europe, and they've reconnected. They're having like a whirlwind romance when Lennox has to leave and go back to America, and he goes out to seek her, but there's so many things that are preventing them from being together. One being the fact that his dad is the owner of the oil company that runs the pipeline on native land. So they have a little bit of a forbidden love trope going on. Their romance is just so intense. It's so fun. It makes you root for both of them and root for them to be together, despite the weird racial tension that's going on in the books. I really like the fact that this had a lot of Native culture, because I'm not very like knowledgeable about Native culture, and so there's a lot of like Native American culture in here, which is really nice because I learned a lot, and a lot of like spiritual culture stuff like that. Then the second book kind of picks up where the first book left off, and it talks about one of them getting kidnapped and what really goes on there. Their life literally turns upside down in the second book. They're both so captivating, so fun, and they're really fast reads, which I really like. This book I wanted to include in this list is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And even though she's not Hispanic, even though I thought she was, her characters in this book are Hispanic, so I wanted to include it for some representation. This is hands down one of my favorite books that I've ever read. It has healthcare romance, which I love. It has POC. It has all the like Hispanic culture in it, and it's just overall so cute. It does have the fake dating trope, so I'll give you guys a quick synopsis. It's about a girl who is going through a lot. Her brother's on dialysis. He just moved in with her. She is stressed out. She's also up for a promotion when she gets told by her boss that they're going to hold off on the promotion because a new doctor is starting and he's also going to be in the running for the promotion. So she automatically hates him because, one, he's a man and she thought he's coming to steal her job. She meets him, she immediately hates him, except he writes her a letter kind of like apologizing and also being like super nice to her. They start having like a cute little banter. They're writing letters back and forth and they really start enjoying each other's company. They become thick as thieves. He also lies to his family and tells them that he has a girlfriend who's coming with him to his brother's wedding. Mind you, his brother is getting married to his ex-girlfriend. So he asked the main character in here, what was her name? Brianna Ortiz. He asked the main character, Brianna Ortiz, to be his fake date to the wedding, also be his fake girlfriend for all the upcoming wedding activities, and she agrees. He also tells her that he will donate his kidney to her brother, which honestly gave her such hard eyes for him. And so we get like fake dating, we get such like fun, deep connection. I love this book so much. The miscommunication trope kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. I hate when characters are bad with communicating because I'm an over communicator to a fault. But I hate that. But either way, this book was so cute. It was so fun. It was hands down one of my favorite books that I've read. So I wanted to include it in this list, especially for my girlies who are looking for a Latina character representation. I definitely recommend. This is a part of a series. It is a part of the Part of Your World series, and I think this is the last book, I believe. Ooh, this one's pretty good too. So this one is by Tia Williams. This is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. It has Black characters. She is a Black author. This book is so cute. It's a small read, but it's super fun and interesting and just captivating. It tells the story of a author who writes like erotica, literary erotica. She's at a convention. She runs into this guy who's also an author, but they dated years ago and they reconnected. Chemistry off the charts. They're really into each other. She also has like a chronic illness where she has really bad migraines. 90% of the time she does not feel well. She's also a mom, so she has a lot going on. They reconnect, but they're kind of toxic. They have a lot going on. I don't know. They don't need to be together. But overall, this book is so good. Please check it out if you're looking for POC characters, Black characters. This book is a little bit more on the realistic side where it does talk about some of the flaws of the Black community. So do with that what you will. Overall, I did enjoy this book. This is my only book that I've read by Tia Williams. I'm interested to see what other books she has because this one was really good. I really like this, so definitely recommend. While We're Dating by Jasmine Guillory, it tells the story of a actress and a guy who's kind of like on the up and coming. They're giving like fake dating because she wants to revamp her image, also kind of like pop off in the media. And how's the best way to pop off in the media is to have like a fake romance. I mean, we see all the time in celebrity culture, they're always fake dating. Give, you know, Kardashian vibes, Kendall Jenner, Bad Bunny, kind of give fake dating scandal. This book is about a influencer or like a girl who wants to pop off. So she's dating this really cute guy who is working on her production of her latest movie. It was also in third person, but it was still pretty good because I feel like a lot of times we don't see POC characters in these kind of like perspectives. I do like Jasmine Guillory. I'm just not the biggest fan of third person writing, and this is in third person. Another book by Jasmine Guillory is Drunk in Love. When this main character, she decides to have a one-night stand. She comes in next day to work, which is at her company, and the new hire is the guy she slept with the night before. Now, can they deny their attraction to each other? You know, maybe, maybe not. That's kind of what we have in this book. So interesting. Jasmine Guillory kind of did it once again in this book. I really liked it. Super cute. Definitely recommend for Black characters. Another book on my list of POC recommendations is The Heart Principle by Ellen Huang. This was really different for me because the main character, she's a bit on the spectrum. She is just a little bit different from our average main characters. When her boyfriend, who is not so nice to her, decides he wants to have an open relationship, and you know, she doesn't really know her self-worth, so she agrees despite her own disdain towards the whole idea of him sleeping with other people. So she agrees. Then she meets this guy who is really different for her. He's a little bit more rebellious. She's a little bit more like calm. Oh, she's also a YouTuber, which I love reading books about YouTubers, content creators, influencers, because it's such like a new concept, but I love seeing it in books because it's just so captivating. So she's also a YouTuber who's trying to recreate the whole viral sensation of one of her previous videos, but she's having a hard time. She's having like a whole mental block when she meets this guy who's a little bit different from her. He's so much hotter than her actual boyfriend, and they have a really good connection. He's also super nice to her, but then her dad gets sick and she has to move back home and take care of him, and she's trying to navigate that whole situation. She is an Asian author. We get to see in depth of an Asian family role and what the dynamics are like, which I think is so fun, so interesting, and I love looking at different ethnic groups and how the dynamics are so similar even though they're different. And so we kind of get that in here. We get the whole Asian family dynamic and oftentimes the burdens that the children take on for their parents. Foreign cultures or foreigners, they do live in a collective society where they depend heavily on each other, unlike American society that is very individualistic. It's so fun, it's so cute. I don't know, it's just overall such a different vibe. Next author I want to talk about is Miss Anna Huang. She is my messy queen. Her books are so captivating, they're so fun. We get spice, we get smut, we get romance, we get billionaire romance, we get a little mafia romance, we get murder, we get everything in her books. They're so messy, they're so fun, they're so captivating. I eat them up. So the first series I'm going to talk about is a Twisted series. There's Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, and Twisted Lies. For some reason I don't have the first copy of Twisted Love, but I do have Twisted Games. This one is about the bodyguard and the Princess Bridget. He's bodyguard, he needs to protect her, but for some reason he's falling in love with her. She's falling in love with him. It's a whole ordeal. It's so fun, it's so cute. We love a stoic, brooding man who's a little bit mean, but he's only nice to her. Love that. Then Twisted Hate. This one is about Jules Ambrose and Josh Chen, which is the girl in the first book's older brother. We get their romance in here. This one's a little bit weird because she's just a liar and for the wrong reasons. I don't know, but it's very strange. But we get spice, we get lies, we get craziness in this one. No murder, I don't think. I don't remember, but this one is pretty good as well. And then my favorite, which is the Christian Harper book. I'm sorry, Christian Harper is one of my favorite book boyfriends. He's a little crazy, he's a little bit weird, but I love a man who goes nuts for his woman, and that's what we get from Christian Harper. He is in love with, what was her name? He's in love with Stella Alfonso. She doesn't know it. She lives in the apartment building that he owns, and when someone's like threatening her, stalking her, she manages to move in with him. Things get crazy. They start doing a little fake dating. He's in love with her and she doesn't know it, and one thing leads to another. They're in love, but then the lies come out. It's crazy. We get a little bit of murder. We get, I don't know, Christian Harper is my favorite one because he's literally nuts. He's insane. He literally gets bored and blows people's cars up. I don't know, I love him. Then another series by Miss Anna Huang is the Kings of Sin series. This one, I have all 3 books. I think book 4 comes out soon, which is like King of Sloth or something like that. All these characters are POC, which I really like. King of Wrath is my first one, book 1, and it's my favorite one from the series. This one is about Dante Russo. He has such a cute accent. He's a billionaire, except he gets blackmailed into getting married to Vivian Lau, and he's pissed about it. He's trying to figure out how can he get revenge on Vivian Lau's dad for making him marry her. And while he's in this arranged marriage with Vivian Lau, he starts falling for her, and that's not what he wants. That's also not what she wants, because she doesn't like this man, even though he's very attractive and he's really nice to her. You know, Dante Russo is supposed to be like super mysterious, like serious, but he's also just like so smiley and nice to her. I don't know, this one's my favorite one because he is such a simp for her, and any book where the guy's like the biggest simp, I'm sorry, but you got me hooked. The next book in this series is King of Greed, which is also another phenomenal read. This book tells the story of Dominic Davenport and Alexandra Davenport. They're married, however Dominic is the king of Wall Street And you know, he doesn't really pay much attention to his wife, so one day she gets up and leave him, and now he's on the quest of trying to win her over, trying to get her back, because he's starting to realize, you know, the things in life that really matters, which is love and family. And that's kind of what we get in this book. The characters are so cute. Lastly, I'm gonna go over one last series, and that is it for me. It is the Bennett series by the one and only Miss Kennedy Ryan. This series had me so hooked. It's so good. So it tells the story of a guy who meets this girl. He's instantly in love with her. When he meets up with his best friend, also his adopted brother, he realizes that the girl that he's in love with is his best friend's fiance. And now he's in like this weird predicament because there is a tangible or like a very strong connection between him and the fiance, and he's trying to figure out what to do about that. We get both point of views in here. We get forbidden romance, we get best friends girlfriend. I mean, I don't even know if that's a trope, but it's so interesting. It's so fun. It's such a quick read. And after that, the second book picks up, Be Mine Forever. It picks up right where the first book left off. We get Karis Morton and Walsh Bennett's story in this one, and she is now married to Walsh's best friend, while, you know, she still has this very deep connection with Walsh, and the best friend is starting to pick up on the energy. He starts to pick up on what's going on here, and then things go left. Things get scary. Things get sad. Very sad in this book. And then the third book, Loving You Always, it skips over to the best friend's point of view. We get his story. We get his story with another character from the first book. We get them together in this book. So fun, such a good read. I really loved their story. I enjoyed their story, and I was happy that the best friend got his happy ending in the end. And that is all I have for my list of books by POC authors. This are some of my favorite reads that I've read ever. Some of them are 5-star reads for me, and so I definitely recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below what's your favorite book by a POC author or book with POC characters, so I can check them out, because I'm always looking for more. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Adios.